This character, Keith David, I forget what his name is, but he's also a really notorious gunslinger as well. But he fights for hire. He works on commission. And his employer, he doesn't really state who his employer is, but Gene Hackman feels that he's there to fight specifically him, in which he duels with him and then actually fucking kills him.
But the night before, they have a conversation.
Yeah, they chill with each other.
John and Keith David's character, and John says to him, "I'm gonna make an example out of you tomorrow."
Yeah, exactly.
So he already knows.
Okay.
He's like, "You're dead already. You just don't know it."
I'm just putting that together right now.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah. So John's just an all-around badass, and he's quite aware that he is the fastest gun in the West, or at least in that town, that nobody can touch him, which is true for a while. For a great deal of the film, he is, the head honcho, if you will.
He's the quick.
Anyway, as you were saying, he kills Keith David's character, who was kind of sent to take him out, right?
And I like the kill too, because it's
that's the worst
Sam Raimi.
I think that's
kills.
the most over the top death.
Yes, it's real.
Walking Dead looked like.
It's almost a fucking Evil Dead over the top kill, like you said, where you can see the actual camera pan from the gun to the back of the dude's head while he shoots the dude in the fucking head, in the face, but you see the hole blow out from the back of his head, and you see the camera. That's where the camera is. So that whole shot is real Sam Raimi. You see it, and it's like, oh shit.
Because you suddenly see through the skull, and then the body drop, and they change the shot from I think it's like a side shot.
Side with.
And then you see him the body drop to his knees, and it's very vicious and a lot of fun, actually.
It's a really cool kill. But he basically, after he kills him, he says to the whole town that he knows that they hired him
to take him out.
And I think that was one of my favorite scenes right there, where he's talking to the
speech. Yeah.
The speech, yeah, and he kills off one of my favorite characters too. I don't know why I call him Childs, because that's what I know. But fucking, I like that guy's character because he was so cool and collective, and he was a badass himself, but he knew he was only there for one purpose and one purpose only, and he, unfortunately didn't come through. But Gene Hackman, his character lets those people know that he's fucking in charge, and this is why he's in charge, is because he can kill anybody who comes and steps up to him, and he runs the town, kind of like how Drake does in Hobo with the Shotgun. He does it with his goons there, and he does it
when he didn't get the claps when he killed those people.
Yeah,
and he was raising his hands give me the claps.
He fucking demands respect, and if he doesn't get it, he will have his goons. He lets them know the only reason you get to see the next day,
is because of
the
him.
dawn, is because I let you. Basically saying, I fucking run this town, and we're gonna play a fucking gun killing game today, and if you don't like it, I'm gonna send somebody to fucking kill you, and there's nothing you can do about it, because I'm the law. I killed the law.
There's no deputies or nothing in town. It's
nothing.
Just ran by the civil.
I like how the game gets aggressively more deadly as it starts. So when it starts, it's just a dueling, but it's not. It's kind of non-lethal, But as they're getting closer and closer to John or Gene Hackman's character, then it starts now we're dueling to the fucking death.
Yeah, and he calls it too. Because he kind of cheats. He kind of changes the rules throughout the game, where it's the final 4, as you can say, out of the 12, and he says, no, we're battling to the death. You have to kill them.
No.
Yeah, he's like a little kid playing with toys and saying, these people are going to die because I say this is the rules. So, yeah,
And that was to raise the stakes, too. It let you know that this was real.
Yeah.
for John. He wanted it to happen. He wanted everyone to die at his gun.
Yeah, that's why I see it as like almost like folklore or like a legend, like the legend of the lady who rides
There's many
into town.
tales, right?
Yeah, it's just a different way of saying it. And that's why I like it, because I can almost 100% see this being done nowadays, but not in a Western. You know what I'm saying? Like done in the city or modern, or even done. With like Hitman or same concept, different stakes. You know what I'm saying? And I can see that, and I feel that's what makes a movie good, is you can take that same story and do it your way, but it's still essentially that story. Mm-hmm. And I feel like you can do that with this movie, because
And speaking of tales, I think that we left one out about the preacher. We should be talking about.
Yeah, Court. I was just talking
much about him. Court. He was one of the main reasons things happened too.
For sure.
So after Ellen's character, or Sharon Stone, comes to town, and right before they announce that they're doing the tournament, they have basically taken this preacher hostage because he is one of the fastest guns in the West, but he's renounced violence because he's a preacher and he believes that killing people is wrong. And this is Russell Crowe's character.
Yeah, right.
And for whatever reason, John, or Gene Hackman, is hell-bent on getting him to break his commitment. Yeah. So he right away when the movie starts, Court is thrown in the saloon, and they basically threaten to hang him, Court or the preacher, if he doesn't agree to do the dueling tournament. Mm-hmm. And John's there, and they put him on the noose, and they put him on the chair, and John starts shooting the chair out from underneath him until he agrees, and he will not agree. He was basically going to hang himself, and then Ellen, Sharon Stone's character, is the hero and saves him, shoots him down.
Yep.
And then she then enters the dueling contest to kind of save his life. Yeah.
That's where it begins, basically.
I wanted to ask, it's so is Court actually? He said that he used to run with John, right? Mm-hmm. He used to be his right-hand man or be part of his crew.
He got him when he was young, supposedly.
Okay, yeah, that's right. I'm starting to remember now. He he said that he had like a fight with another gang or something, and
he didn't want to kill him or something.
There was a preacher there that took him in and hid them.
Oh yeah, there you
go. And then as soon as he said he was well enough, he wanted to kill the preacher, but he wasn't able to. So he basically turned his life over and started doing stuff with the clergy, and then became the preacher to what he is currently now. Mm-hmm. Okay. I couldn't remember. Sorry.
And John rakes him wherever he found him. John rakes him in and brings him in, and then that's where.
And he basically harasses him the entire movie with Court. Yeah, he forces
outside by the fountain.
He forces him into the fucking the dueling contest. For the first few bouts, he basically makes him stay outside,
like a dog,
chained to the fucking fountain or whatever it was.
Yeah,
and. He basically duels. He gives him a shitty piece of
$5 gun.
He gives him the worst pistol,
and he gives him one bullet every duel.
But at the same time, he knows that he's that good. I feel like John knows that he's going to survive. He doesn't, for a minute, he makes it hard on purpose, so that he's forced to pull his weapon. But he knows that he's going to survive. He knows his potential, and he's trying to make him that monster again. I feel like he's trying to break him to become that person he was before, and that's the ongoing kind of subplot there. Yeah, which is interesting.
I feel just after watching the Ballad of Buster Scruggs and seeing that first actual Buster Scruggs.
There's some similarities there for sure.
A lot,
yes.
dude. I can see where the Coen brothers pulled a lot of that from, especially the part where he has the hole in his hat.
Yeah, pulls it down.
They show the hole in The Quick and the Dead, especially when Gene Hackman's character gets fucking shot, and you can see the hole coming through his body.
Yeah, it's clear as day.
Yeah, and then Elle's character has the actual hole in her hat when she first pulls up to Jigsaw, whatever. He he misses her. But I saw the similarities and certain camera angles and the way almost over the top slapstick a little bit similarities too in the Sam Raimi being pulled into the Buster Scruggs. So I see that. I see where they kind of took their influence from, or kind of homage or ideas from that too. So I just want to throw that out there because that was in my mind right now.
Yeah.
So
very cool.
Yep.
What else?
Did you have any favorite characters in the movie?
The Indian guy was pretty alright to me. Like, he was just down to get shot. It was pretty crazy.
Was it like
something horse, dude? Spotted horse.
Spotted horse can't be killed with one bullet.
Nope. And it did happen.
Yeah, that was pretty cool too. I like that scene. See, I always felt like if you were to take all 12 of those characters,
all stories, dude.
it would be like a video game, like you said, like a Mortal Kombat. But also,
it could be like Buster Scruggs too, like how they go tail to tail.
They all had, that's why I see it as almost like a little legendary folks campfire tale about fucking Elle, the Lady of Revenge,
style,
Yeah, I see that, I can see somebody just telling that story, and it's a cool story. I mean, I like it.
Hey, did they ever get the money in that movie? No, because they blew everything.
Yeah, because she basically blew everything up.
She said, "Screw it up."
Yeah, because she fakes her death in order to get revenge, and I like the coroner. The Undertaker was the fucking
Home Alone, dude.
The ice sweeper from Home Alone. I mean, we noticed that shit. That was pretty cool.
I think my favorite part of the film were the flashbacks of her motivation as to why she wants revenge so much, and they don't really give that away, and so you don't get that full kind of closure until you're at the end of the film, where you realize that she was this little girl, and when John and his gang were younger, they kind of, kind of ransacked that
overthrew or
whatever that
it's
town.
It's the same thing they're doing now to a different town.
They basically took the marshal, and they were going to hang him.
And that's Ellen's father.
Yeah, it was his father. Yeah, her father. And she's a little girl at the time, and they're kind of circling him and just having fun and making a mockery out of the whole thing, right? And before they hang him, they say, "Oh, I'll let him go if you're able to shoot him down."
Yeah, that's really fun.
And John gives her, the little girl, Ellen, the revolver, right, the 6-shooter, and
he says there's only 3 bullets left, so make them count.
And that little scene completely wraps up everything. Like, it just it needed to be done at the end, like the revenge.
That's the fucking twist that really brings the movie to a full circle where you can say this is a good movie, because it's unexpected. You think that it was just John fucking hung him, right? Like, he killed him. But it was really that he manipulated Ellen as a little girl to kill her own father. Yeah. Because had she shot him down, they probably would have killed him anyway.
Anyways, exactly.
No remorse.
Yeah, so So basically, he says, "Hey, shoot him down." And if
John wanted that, dude, he wanted it.
Yeah, so he hands the pistol to what? How old do you think she is? Like 6 years old, and she's trying. On the first shot, she tries to shoot her hanging father off of the post.
The gun was probably heavy for her too, and it just went down while she was aiming from the.